President Obama has been the target of a lot of criticism on this program, specifically for a lot of privacy and drones, wiretapping, the no-fly list we talked about, and using it to exile people. And there's an interesting article, and it's from CBC, and that's from Canada. And I think it's interesting that that's where the article is from, because some of the criticisms made are about how American media has been covering a lot of these Obama policies that we've been pretty critical of, and I think all progressives should be critical of. The reality is that President Obama denounced a lot of the Bush security measures that he then expanded, and actually went even further and started hunting down some of the whistleblowers and leakers of some of the policy documents and related issues at an unprecedented rate. And the article in CBC News, and I encourage you to check it out, argues that, first of all, the fact that American media are using the term targeted killing instead of what drone strikes really are, extrajudicial assassinations, is part of the complicit nature of American media in covering this issue. I tend to think that this is a pretty good argument. In other words, the same way that enhanced interrogation, when in many cases we're talking about torture techniques, American media, many aspects of American media, they bought into that. They said, we're talking about enhanced interrogation techniques because that's how the government describes them, instead of creating their own story about what they are. I think targeted killing for really extrajudicial assassinations of people who have not been charged with any crime, and in many cases are not even involved in the commission of any crimes. What do you think about the American media choosing to use that?
I think it's irresponsible, of course. I mean, you have to call it what it is. Of course, our government is going to come up with some clever way to phrase it to lower the, the alarm and just how bad it sounds. I mean, it's irresponsible reporting. The
reports we have gotten about the U.S. drone program have also often been based on leaks. Like, for example, the memo we got at the beginning of this week from NBC News have described how the Obama administration is more and more dependent on using these remote control killing techniques, and that President Obama is signing off personally on, I hesitate to say every target in the event that it is not every target, but it appears to be almost every target President Obama is personally signing off on. And Americans are not that concerned with the program based on polling, in part because of how it has been covered in the media. And how it's been covered in the media has been a result of the fact that there is essentially agreement between the Republican and Democratic parties on this issue. American media is drawn to covering controversy in the two-party dichotomy. And when there is essentially agreement between the two parties, Natan, I guess it just doesn't make for that interesting of a media story, because by covering it, they're essentially getting all of government against them, right?
That's true. I think the media has a lot to do with people's perceptions on this. On the other hand, I think that a lot of people have a generally vague idea that they kind of support almost everything, if not everything, that is done in prosecuting the war on terror, and they just kind of mentally check out when it becomes necessary to enter into any real criticism. And that, on the one hand, that's bad. On the other hand, from the Obama administration's perspective, there haven't been very many limits set by Congress, but this is an opportunity now with the Brennan hearings today and in the next few weeks to really set up a legal apparatus to be able to conduct this in a way that is considered by everyone legitimate.
Well, we know, Louis, that putting things under the umbrella of the ongoing global war on terror is a popular way of getting people to agree to things in the U.S. And the problem is, of course, as we are getting to now, it appears that this global war on terror is never going to end. And the reality is there will always be someone somewhere that is planning or would like to plan some kind of violence against this country and many countries. And is that going to become the status quo umbrella for justifying this type of thing long term?
Hard to say. I mean, you're right. How do you kill an idea, right? I mean, the war on terror is probably, I'll compare it to the war on drugs, probably almost as futile. I mean, the goal should be to prevent people from hating you. But when you're overseas killing people with drones, it's very easy for them to use that against you.
The last aspect of this that I mentioned is the going after the whistleblowers here, because so much of the information we get about these things comes from leaks and whistleblowers. Attorney General Eric Holder has prosecuted more officials for leaking information to reporters than any of his predecessors since the Second World War. Intelligence officials who leak details of programs used to spy on internet traffic or wiretaps or President Obama's personal involvement in selecting drone targets have been hunted down. What do? It is a disaster. And, we get back to what? Our choices this election were Romney and Obama. Was it wrong to vote for President Obama because of the issues on which he differed from Mitt Romney, even though they both basically agree on the wiretapping and the drones and so on and so forth? Does it imply support for those things if you vote for President Obama? I voted for President Obama. There were two people that come election day had a chance of winning, and I wanted it to not be Mitt Romney. I don't support these things that are going on. Remember, President Obama won the Nobel Peace Prize. I mean, what is going on here? This does not make sense, but I didn't want Romney in there. I think Obama was the better choice.
Obama was the better choice. Like we talked about before, their foreign policy, or at least their defense policies, would have probably been identical. So was Obama the better choice for the economic future of this country? Yes. But the only guy you could have possibly voted for who even remotely stood a chance, who would have changed defense policy, is who? Ron Paul? Okay, look how far that got. Right. You can't campaign on that.
Right. All right, so we're going to keep covering this. Obviously, we've been covering it, and we're going to continue covering it.